All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Winnebago County at the county fairgrounds. We are at the Illinois Trappers Association convention, but not only that, we are with the national convention here. So we got people from all around Illinois, the country for that matter, and Canada. So I'm going to introduce you to Dave and Karen, and tell us a little bit about the NTA and what your organization is all about.
Well, the NTA is here as their annual gathering. This is our convention. It's a dealer show. A lot of trappers come here and they buy their supplies for the year. They network, they bring families. It's a family event. There are educational seminars going on. There's contests, just all kinds of things. And it's a great time for everyone. And like you said, we have people here from Alaska, Maine, Florida, New Mexico, Arizona, I mean from all corners of the country and everywhere in between.
It's the largest gathering of trappers in the world. Think of it as the modern day Mountain Man Rendezvous.
Mountain Man Rendezvous. So if an individual is just getting into trapping, is this a place where they can come and learn a little bit about it?
Oh, absolutely. Again, our educational seminars, we call them demos. We have a reconstructed area, like a trapping area, see, right in a building, where they bring in and they make a pond. We'll see it in a little bit. You've got to see this because people come in here and then give their expertise on different species and different ways to trap those animals. So a learner, yeah, come in, everybody learns. I still pick up things every year. You sit and watch experts talk about their specialty in trapping.
You know, we tried going live here just a couple minutes ago, and I walked in here, and the first thing you see, ladies and gentlemen, is this bear trap, and the thing is ginormous. Kind of a little bit of a back trip. You know, I used to do a lot of trapping when I was younger, and when I heard that this national convention was coming to Illinois, I was very excited because a lot of what's going on is that the misunderstanding of what trappers are.
Yeah, and the bear traps aren't part of it anymore. That there is totally for show.
Okay,
we've got a lot of...
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up because, you know, a lot of our viewers may not know that.
Yeah,
so that's great.
A lot of the modern traps we use today, they're still based somewhat on that same principle of the double, the jaws. But there are a lot of them are designed a little differently now to be very much more humane. You don't see anything big with teeth in it. That's Disneyland, okay?
Yeah.
That's cartoons.
TV.
So the reality is far different from that. So all of these seminars and the educational opportunities people have here will be to teach them how to use these tools correctly with the least amount of trauma to the animal.
So if an individual is coming, now if you're in Illinois, I know there's so much going on this weekend. You got the Deer and Turkey Expo in Peoria, you got the duck blind drawings all across the state, you got this convention, but it's not just the demos, but you got people that are selling and their businesses in here. You got what you call tailgaters, and then you got the demos. So what exactly are the things that trappers are looking for when they come here to buy? You know, obviously traps, but what else is involved in it?
Did you notice when you walked in the building not only the sight, but did you notice the smell?
Yeah, you know what, Dave? Thank you for bringing it up because if you sit there, you walk in, and you kind of, all right, it smells like a skunk and you're like, bit. You know, and you're like, all right, you know, it kind of gets you in the mood for the fall and the winter.
So and that's a big thing with people that come to an event like this. They walk in the building and they take one inhale and they think, I'm back home. I mean, my daughters did that after they went to college. They'd come back to visit back in the fur shed in the fall. The first thing you go is out to the fur shed, it smells like home. And that's the response trappers have here because we've learned to appreciate these odors that we use to lure animals to our sets at times. So there are a lot of lure dealers in here. Of course, they're very competitive. Everybody's got their own secret formula, but skunk-based essence is in a lot of them, as you can tell when you walk in the door. It's not overpowering, but it's always right there in the back of your conscience, isn't it?
You know, you mentioned that, you know, they're competitive because we live in that,
Sure.
a free market society like that. But is it because are these guys at the end of the day, are we all on the same team?
Oh, we're all friends. This is like family. We come here to see people we've been coming to see for 30 years. We only see them once a year, but we love them. It's not like you stay in contact all through the year, but you come every year to catch up, much like the Mountain Man Rendezvous used to do.
Now tonight we'll have a couple of the dealers here in this building. We'll join myself and we'll get our guitars out and play music tonight all together.
So for people that aren't in the trapping or understand it, of what this convention is really about, in short words, it's very much like ICAST, which is, for fishing, but this is for the trapping. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't really see me because of the sunlight, but there is just so much information that is gathered here today. If you could, if a person says you got a 2-minute talking point to really try to essence them into trapping, what would you say?
2-minute talking point to do what? We're trapping now. We just had a truck go by.
Don't worry. Just like if you had to your elevator pitch to get them to start trapping, why is it important that we have trappers? We'll start there. Why is it important that we continue the heritage of trapping?
Well, for one thing, trapping is an important part of wildlife management. In states that have outlawed fur trapping, they have to go back in and hire people now to control some of these populations.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Dave. Which states are those?
Well, Massachusetts is one.
Okay.
Colorado, California,
Okay.
mostly on the coast. Not so much in Colorado, but at least on public land they have. But in Colorado or California, they have outlawed a lot of trapping completely. In Massachusetts, they have. Massachusetts, the beaver, for instance, have become overpopulated, damming up the streams, flooding roadways, impacting municipal water supplies. They have to be controlled. So trappers provide a very important function there, and at the same time, we're harvesting a renewable resource that is largely being exported. So it's a worldwide commodity.
I'm sorry, you said that, and the reason why I got this look on my face when he said renewable, because it really is. It is
absolutely.
It could be one of those issues that can get out of control very quickly. A good example here in Illinois for our viewers would be deer hunting. All of a sudden, back in the day, they didn't want it. They tried to make sure that they could have deer, and then all of a sudden they got a little out of control, and then they, whatever. Maybe that's a bad example,
well,
but a renewable.
Trapping goes right into that deer analogy, because one of the primary predators of young fawn deer would be coyotes, and trappers help control the coyote population.
Okay, so
It
here,
all ties together, see?
let me just sit here and say, okay, you know what? I'm a pheasant hunter, or you know what? We'll go with realism.
How about
I'm okay, turkey. I'm a waterfowl hunter. Why again? So is it the conservation aspect that that you guys are pushing here more than anything? Is that you're a conservationist, or?
Well, absolutely conservationist. I mean, that's the wise use of a resource. Not the total protection of, but the wise use of a resource is conservation. And let's take that back to your turkey hunters. What's the biggest predator of turkeys? It's usually on the eggs and the poults, right? What eats eggs and poults? Coyotes. I mean, a lot of the animals that we then trap and help manage those populations, so you don't have as much impact from the predators on those more desirable species to some hunters.
So
now, I say more desirable because good and bad. There is no good and bad in nature. I got you thinking again. I see that look on your face.
because when you were saying that, it's if we don't have trappers, then we may have a very influx balance of turkey, deer, pheasant, waterfowl. So really, trappers are the ecosystem of. Maybe not ecosystem is the wrong word.
We're the primary.
We're going to keep walking here because we got a guy backing up here, and then we'll just kind of go in the shade here, and
certainly,
so that way we can get a good view.
We are the primary predator for many of these species. What else preys on a coyote besides man? Very little.
Yeah,
so when you look at the balance, and people talk about the balance of nature, there is no one singular point that is that balance. That balance is a dynamic relationship between all species and their environment. We're merely a part of that dynamic relationship. We're being the predator for other predators. And we do this in a managed way. Each state has regulations and everything that have set up to make sure that we don't overtake some of these populations. We're harvesting a resource for the most part, but if somebody has a problem with coyotes, whether into their livestock or whether it's into the wild animals like the deer, if trappers can go in there and help control that, then we're helping everyone.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in Illinois, Wisconsin border, Missouri, you have one more day. You are open Sunday, right? Or just a little
very
bit?
Little.
Sunday is very little.
Saturday be your best day.
Saturday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not joking. You have, what is this, about 10 acres here? Where you got
tailgaters and
I did walk through this.
More. You haven't seen half of it.
Right, and I walked through this part where the tailgaters. I mean, there's guys selling decoy. I mean, this is.
It's not just trapping.
It's not just trapping.
It's an outdoor fur market.
And this is something that I was flabbergasted by, because when I walked in there, I immediately said subculture of hunting. It's the first thing that came to my mind because that's what it is. It's a culture in its own. You got your own language, you got your own your acronyms and everything else like that. So it's amazing. If someone wants to get a hold of the NTA, how can they do that?
NationalTrappersAssociation.org. We're also, there are phone numbers. I don't have them on me. I didn't know you were going to ask that.
No, it's all right.
We can get those for you as well. But there's a Facebook page.
All right, and what is that?
National Trappers Association is our Facebook page. Each state has a director. Each state has an association that are members of the National Trappers Association, so you can get a hold of them through them too.
And if you're in Illinois, that would be the
and if you're interested here in Illinois, you just go and type in Illinois Trappers Association. It'll come up on a Google hit. You just click that, and they will answer your question. These trappers are very.
We're trying to be friendly and easy to get along with. And
you know what? And it's just like how she said, it's a rendezvous, and I've been welcomed here as a waterfowl hunter in the trapping community with open arms. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are out there, you need to get here. Winnebago County Fairgrounds today and tomorrow. You know what? Your duck blinds can wait because you can get out here, you can do that, and then you can go get your duck blind drawings.
$10 for the whole weekend.
And you know what? I got my thing here. They got food, they got water, and I'm telling you, you're gonna find some really good deals. Not just for trapping, but fishing and other things. But I'm gonna be going with Dave and Karen to the demo area, and we're gonna see what this is all about. We're gonna kind of walk around, take some pictures, and I highly recommend you make sure you check out our article that we talk about trapping and its importance. From everyone at Capital Outdoors, thank you guys very much.
Yeah, let's go to the demo area.
Appreciate it, and yeah, let's head on over there.